walked out the back.
What about family growing up?
Pardon?
What about family growing up?
I'm sorry.
What about family growing up?
Family?
Yeah, when you were growing up.
Mine? Well, I went in about 10 years of schooling. I went to probably 8, 9 different schools. His dad's getting moved around. He hit the latter part of the Depression, and if you had a job that you valued, you moved with it. But as part of the program to get the younger guys, they had the 3 C's there, Civilian Conservation Corps, and they were just like an army camp. There's a couple hundred guys in the camp, you know, and they were doing, well, they had different camps. Dad worked on for the Forest Service. That was their primary. They built fire trails, phone lines, roads, and stuff like that. And then they had a couple, 3 of them for the national parks scattered around the country. And then they had some in the Middle West during the droughts there. They had droughts through the 30s there. A lot of soil erosion, not enough rain, crop failures and everything. And they were part of working with the soil conservation there to save the preserve the land as best they could. It was a good idea, it was good. And then the guys in the forest camps, like where my dad worked, was for fire trails and road improvement. They had a lot of tree planting and some thinning, scrub and brush stuff, but money timber grow. But it took the kids off the streets. A lot of them, the first camp, their dad was glad he was Forest Service supervisor there. The Forest Service first, the work directions. They took unemployed people from the Army, guys who'd been at college and ROTC and stuff. You graduate with a commission, you know, and how it works or not. They come out second lieutenants, and they sent them out to do the administration of the camp, food and clothing, and they trained a few of them and did a little bit of marching, you know. Of course, you got a body of men, the best way to move them is, you know, as a unit. Or what they were doing, actually setting them up for when the war started. Started in Europe in 39, and we got into it in 41 there, and the Japanese were on Pearl Harbor. Up to that time, we'd been supplying England what was left of France with war supplies and stuff. And but when the States went into the war, they had to line these guys out in the camp, raise their right hands, and they were automatically soldiers. Like it or not, you're not enlisting out or private. They refer to CRCs as enlistees, but the Army is running it. The logistical part of it, feeding clothes and everything. And they had a lot of surplus warehouses with old Army uniforms and stuff in them. And that's what they issued them denims to work in, and your Liberty clothes or dress clothes, surplus Army uniform. But it was a good thing for a lot of those young guys, especially from the bigger cities. They, you know, there was no job, there was nothing else, and They paid a whole $30 a month. 25 of it went home to your parents, and $5 went to you for your spending money for the month. But of course, they had different jobs there that paid more than base pay. Well, if a guy had any ambitions at all, he'd get an extra $10 a month or something for whatever specialty he was into. But it was a good program for the young guys. But no, the price itself was a real education. I mean, it was really tough. Out here, it wasn't so bad, but and then back east in your bigger cities, and up in Portland, you know, of course it's the same about misery. Misery loves company, you know. At least you weren't the only guy that was hurt. And when the war comes, of course, they all become soldiers right quick. Well, some of them got to go to the Navy, and a few Marines. But our thoughts at the time were that the big wheels of the government knew what we were going into a war and everything. Of course, they have information that the public doesn't, but they can see it coming. And you've got treaties, like we had treaties with England and France, to come to their defense. So you're automatically obligated there politically to step in and out. And of course, those are the things you learn later as you see what happened. You know, you should have been able to see where we're going. But first went in the Army, about $21 a month, and they took it up to 30. Fiscal years 1939, it moved up to $30. But,
Did you serve in the Pacific or in Europe?
Did
you serve in the Pacific or in Europe?
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit hard of hearing.
Yeah, when you were in the Army, did you serve in the Pacific or in Europe?
Oh, Europe.
Oh.
Prestwick, Scotland.
Must have been kind of interesting.
404th Bomber Squadron. I think a lot of that, to me, it was a good learning experience. Teach how to survive anyway. And you know, set your standards where you're surviving legally, you know, you're not out committing any crimes or doing anything that you wouldn't tell mama about.
So it was easy to find work as long as you were willing to move around to find it?
Yeah.
It was easy to get work as long as you were willing to move around?
They got the 3 sea camps in. There was a few guys out of Portland, Seattle, Frisco, and some at the camp, but most of them were Eastern. Of course, there's more people in the Eastern in the Western states here. And they brought them out here. I couldn't understand some of them guys. They couldn't run around the brush, you know, they got educated. We grew up doing it, you know. Go someplace, go fishing, or got a little older, you go hunting with part of friends or family, you know. And these guys, some of them had never seen a tree outside of a park. I mean, I found that really interesting. I had to come home, and the camp was about 25, 30 miles from home there, about a Hardman there at Bull Prairie, from the Hardman down at Bull Prairie. But the Reserve Army, guys come out of college from ROTC, come out with a commission, or in depression there. Getting out of college didn't guarantee you a job. I mean, you're out there competing for jobs. Well, some of them couldn't get a job in whatever their major was. And
Your dad went to the camp?
Remember?
You would follow when your dad went to a new camp?
Oh yeah, whenever Dad went, he got for 6 months away. We just moved that way. The Foresters has some kind of a deal there. They moved them that way to give them a moving allowance. Mom wasn't happy with it, but you want to split the family up, or he's got to follow it. He's got the job, you got to follow it, And that kind of split my schooling up. See, in 6th grade, I think I went to 6th grade, I went to 4 different schools. And that kind of disrupts your education. But